I can't take it anymore. I can't. I'm not myself without these aggression talks, and I don't know what made me think that I needed to stop doing them, but I just thought that with new levels, I needed to do new things, and I realized that I lost the one thing that I enjoyed the most, the one thing that made me me and made you guys subscribe to me, and I just can't do it. I'm gonna still do podcasts and stuff like that, but literally my YouTube videos don't feel like my YouTube videos without me posting with the aggression talk. So here it is. We're back. I don't care what my brand has to do with the aggression talks. I'm gonna do these aggression talks because I made a vow to authentically document myself, and while I've done a great job of doing that, I'm not me without these aggression talks. And we're just gonna get straight into it. No more talking. Today I want to talk about the mindset that it actually requires for you to quantum leap into a whole entire new identity. A whole entire new identity, because I've taken on an entire identity shift. And I'm home in Atlanta.
Victor, what's up? How we doing?
What I decided to do was leave my Lambo in Miami.
Shout out. What's up? Appreciate the sub, but I'm doing a shout outs now.
I'm not sure yet. I've been looking around, looking at some spots, but it really feels best to me when I'm going back and forth.
We're doing shout out. We're doing,
you know, the hominess of Atlanta. I love being able to drive into a normal parking lot with jam maps, park in a parking garage, or pay for parking on the side of the road. I like polite people. It just feels like home here. But I really enjoy Miami. I enjoy my apartment. I enjoy the scenery. I enjoy the hustle. And I think that the best of both worlds is going back and forth.
It's okay. It's okay.
Live, knock it off.
Because of my fitness coaching business, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter though. I was just barking. I don't really care.
I was just working out. I was training some back. It was late. I've been taking client calls all day. It's 8:51 p.m. I'm gonna make these aggression talks whenever the fuck I want to, instead of just making them in the morning. I like them when they're at night, but whenever I feel like I need to make an aggression talk, instead of being a little bitch like I've been the past couple months and be like, oh, no, I'm not. I don't need to make those anymore. I'm gonna just sit down and fucking make them, because that's what I need, and I believe that that's what you guys will benefit from as well. But as I'm driving,
whatever, nice pack, ice on my shoulder, recovering the shoulder, still icing it up.
Who made fun of me.
Victor, how's your fitness journey going? What's been your biggest challenge?
I'm gonna give you guys an example. I took my dad out to this tiny little like hometown restaurant. You guys know that the places that like they aren't chains, but like they're not like a sit-down restaurant. Like it's not like a nice restaurant, but it's just like, you know, like just a little local restaurant. And this kid comes over to serve me. I'm sitting there on the table. I have my TRX keys, my Lambo keys, and I'm wearing my Rolex. Not that it matters, but it adds context to the situation, right? I'm sitting there with my metal Chase Sapphire Reserve and my gold card, you know, right? Just normal, right? And I say that for context. Before you think I'm being a douchebag, listen to the story. And this kid comes up. He's like, what's up, bro? And I instantly recognize him. I went to high school with this kid. I was in the same friend groups as this kid. This kid was sending all of my videos around when I first started him. And this kid was a pussy, right? Like, I couldn't snap his neck so easily. But, you know, I didn't, obviously, because it's immature to, you know, resort to just fighting someone. A real man can just swallow his pride and, you know, whatever. Because I knew in my mind that this version of me already existed, right? And I just sat there and like it like hit me for a second, like time froze, and I was like, wow, this kid, he's got like fucking ears pierced, like he's 15 years old. He's got the little like, you know, I had my ears pierced too when I was a fucking little vagina, but he has the little like purple like infection around his ears. He looks pale as shit. His eyes are red. He's probably been smoking some little Chinese, you know, THC vape in the back while he's coming up to serve me. And he recognized me, but he didn't say anything. What's up, bro? How you been? Oh, been good, bro. Been good. You know, he's a server, but not at like a high. Like I served at a bunch of restaurants, so I get it. It's hard work, right? But he's not like he's in the position like I can just read like his parents are like, you have to get a job or you have to move out type thing. He's probably in college or whatever, and I can just tell that like there was no difference from that kid and like sophomore him, besides he had just like gotten older. And he just looked at me, and I just felt this like distance. I literally felt 10 years older than him, even though we're the same age. We're the same age, and 2 years ago we both graduated from the same high school. And it just got me thinking, and it was like, what causes? I know what causes it, but I'm like, just like, I like to think through my thoughts. I'm like, man, like, what truly causes two kids to, this kid like had a nicer upbringing than me. Lived in one of the nicest neighborhoods around. Parents were pretty, well-to-do. He was like played like, I think he played like soccer. He was like good. Like these are just like, I didn't know much about him, right? But he hung out with the friend group that kind of like disowned me because I was very popular. A lot of kids who become successful in business at a young age, they weren't popular at all, and that was kind of like their pain of going into it. But I had to sacrifice my popularity, my status, my friends, everything, because I was up here and I knew that where it was going. Like I saw the bridge ending and I saw everyone just running off the bridge, and I was just like, I'm gonna end up just like that if I don't change. And so I changed and I started going the opposite direction. I stopped drinking, stopped smoking, started waking up early, took the gym seriously, started even taking school seriously, and wanted to go down entrepreneurship. My parents weren't going to pay for my college, and I didn't want to be stuck in college. I didn't want to do that. I thought maybe I would go into a trade or something. But the one thing that separated him from me was I made the decision. I made the decision to drop my ego, lower myself, and pick up the success. All the other kids turned their noses up. They saw me dropping over, trying to pick up my success, starting from scratch, and they laughed at me, they pointed fingers, because it was a reflection of their own insecurity, their own lack of direction, their own lack of work ethic. And I took it. And I remember in my head being like, it's all gonna be funny when the tables turn, right? When the tables turn. Because these kids, their parents bought them nice cars, everyone was going to their parents' house to drink, all this stuff, right? I didn't feel left out. I had my share of that, right? I did it. I didn't really care. But I just remember being like, trying my hardest to like be nice with guys. Y'all gotta stop smoking. We're not 12 anymore. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do this for the rest of your life? And all of these thoughts came back and hit, and it was so crazy to be like, every single thing that I had thought when I completely dropped my ego, dropped my status, lost all of my friends to go chase success, has now come true, simply because I dropped it and I bent over to pick it up. And I know he could tell it too. I left him, he was a dickhead to me. I left him a huge tip. Lunch was like $50. I think I left him like $30. For, on a $50 tip for a kid that's like 20, he didn't even do anything. He just brought my food out, wasn't even polite, right? Just as a show of like, hey, it's all good, right? And simply, the one factor that differentiates me from him is number one, I wasn't okay with my situation. He wasn't. So my standard is number one. That I was willing to temporarily go through this to change my habits so I could permanently live the life that I wanted to live. He wanted to temporarily live the life that he wanted to live at the moment, so that purposefully. So standard and habits. Those are the two things that I think define and separate winners from losers. It doesn't matter where you came from. I'm not with all that. I see comments all the time, people being like, well, you didn't grow up with my parents. You're a privileged white kid. Fuck you. Okay? When I say that, it almost like hurts me because I don't even like using those words. I'm trying to curse less, but that's the only thing that comes to my mind. It's like that, those F you, and like, man, I feel really bad. It's like, you still are eating that lie? Like, you're still eating that lie. You're still eating the lie that someone else decides your fate and your future. I've seen 30-year-old dudes commenting on a video of me getting a Lambo. Well, yeah, but your dad this year, my dad didn't shit. You were okay with your standard, and you chose not to choose your habits. So if you want to quantum leap and completely change your identity, you must first change your habits so that you can gain new standard, and second, set a completely new standard for yourself. Because you never, like I always say, you never rise to your ambitions, you fall to the level of your standards. And your standard is reflected by your habits. Today, I think we had a normal day today. This is my second payment processor. So like my one-on-one mentorship, where like my highest level mentorship. My other payment processor for Stripe is on the phone that's videoing this, and then I have like my fitness coaching and everything. But just today, and look, this is my Stripe dashboard. You can see, like I can go through all the payments and everything, yada yada yada, for the people that are like, roll, right? Just today, 13K. And then one payment processor, just this week, 23K. Can you guys see that? 23K. In 1 week, I'm 20 years old, right? The week before, like 10K, but then on the other payment processor, there was probably like 50. So I'm making like 30 to 50K a week. Across kind of like my Rolodex of businesses, right? And I just hit like 16,000 followers on Instagram. You know, my YouTube hasn't grown that much, given because I haven't been posting that much, right? I don't expect results from things that I'm not doing, so I don't complain, I get it. And that's something I'll admit, I've been slacking. 90% of the people who I went to high school with probably won't even make
Betty Wacker, whatever it's called, sir.
And I went to the same classes with them, lived in the same area, went to the same gym. But I changed my standard. That is something I feel cool. I don't even buy that much stuff. I'm wearing one of my good friends' clothing brand things. I'm wearing $100 and I had a ELA jacket on. I still wear my hand-me-down clothes that I got when I was in high school because it's comfortable. I've got some Fendi shades in here. I've got a Dior wallet, you know, stuff like that. I still wear wired headphones because, like, I like stuff, but I don't really care. My dopamine, my like purpose comes from the effort that I'm expelling. My work ethic is triggered by more work. I get excited. Y'all have all seen that quote. Why would you complain about having a lot of shit on your plate when your goal was to eat? You're a man. Your value, how much burden you can withstand. How much pressure can you withstand? How much can you hold and still show up and still not break? That's what excites me. How much can you throw at me and I continue to juggle it? Continue to be kind.
Appreciate it.
Continue to be a provider. Continue to contain my anger, contain rage, contain my pride.
Yeah, old man junior, bro. Looking at my fitness coaching, bro. Remember a while back you said you were interested. So you ready to join the program, lock in, bro? You're gonna stay average and be free. Your service is a bit laggy. It's a bit laggy. It probably is a little bit. Huh? Connection's a bit laggy.
And jealousy, all these emotions that humans have, that's what's masculine. How much hate can I take and still give out love? These aggression talks, this isn't hate. This is me being serious. This is love. If I didn't care, I wouldn't make these ever. I wouldn't sit on here and talk with emotion. I talk with emotion because I care, because these are the videos that I needed to see. Right? I don't care. There's people driving all around. There's people looking at me, right? I don't care. All of these people. That car is like $20,000. That car is like $7,000. All of these people. I make these people's like monthly income in a day. But I'm not out here flexing. I'm not out here buying stuff. I don't care. I'm simply walking into the gym and I'm like, I'm going to be the hardest worker in here because my standard. I'm going to have the nicest car because of my standard. Not because, oh, I make more money than you. Because, like, yeah, I put in the amount of work that allows me to get this. Yeah, I'm 20. I have 2 cars. And then you know what I also think about? Oh, shit. Kid down the road, he's 20 and he's got a Ferrari. Got a Rolls Royce and he's got this. And does that mean he works harder than me? Doubt it. But is he able to leverage his time better? Maybe. It's not about just working hard, it's about working smart. That's what a man is. And that brings me to another point of dudes who are just like, well, I'm jacked, so I don't care, bro. I laugh when I see dudes that are like jacked out the tree and they're broke. Like I used to laugh at myself and I was like, you're really here in this gym with $100 in your bank account right now? Prioritize your health, absolutely. Prioritize your physique, your mindset, absolutely. All those things come first before you make the money. But you should not rest at all until you're overflowing in every single solitary aspect. Rich, ripped, rare, mature, in control of your emotions, intelligent, wise, soft to speak, slow to anger, right? And don't go in the comments going, well, you're not soft to speak, because I'm talking to men. I'm talking to other masculine men, you guys, who I'm pushing forwards. Soft to speak, slow to anger, right? This is when you're in a conversation that requires that. Shame's the greatest motivator for men. I'm not gonna sit here and lessen your potential by just talking soft. When the time comes, I can push my emotions to the side and I can talk soft. But when it calls for aggression, which you should be giving out on a daily basis, you should have the ability to bring that out from the inside of you, and that comes from your standard and your habits. Outbursts of aggression, when they don't matter, is not masculinity. The ability to wield it is, and that comes again from your standard and your habits. This is how I quantum leap into a 20-year-old who's gonna make over $1 million this year. $1 million. Just about a year and 8 months ago, I think I had negative $70 in my bank account.
He's a fitness coach. Of course, he's not.
And if you go to my Instagram, there's guys that have 500,000 followers on Instagram who have a fourth of the testimonials that I have. I've got real video testimonials of the clients whose businesses I've scaled to the moon. I just had a kid buy his dream BMW and he's made $170,000 in the past 3 months working with me to scale his coaching business. He had 7,000 followers when he came to me. I think he barely has 11 now, but he's got like 1,000 YouTube subscribers. You don't need a big audience. You need value. And you know what I told him as soon as he came in? You know what you gotta fix first? Your habits and your standards. Before you apply any of my business systems, you gotta have the habits and the standards. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Same thing goes with your wallet. Same thing goes with the gym. Same thing goes with your relationship. Habits and standards. Habits and standards. Habits and standards. If every single time you walk in the gym, you're instantly getting on your phone, doing this, habit. Your habits are reflected by your standards. You don't look at that shit as gross. I finished up my workout with this skinny little pale kid. He's like, and his little vape like a faggot. What's his standard? What are his habits? It's reflected by his body. I guarantee you I could guess his bank account balance. I guarantee you I could guess exactly what he's gonna do when he goes home. I see a dude that walks in there, locked in. Tell by his eyes. One look at a man's eyes, I know what your habits, I know what your standards are. That's it. That's it. And any other men who are real men know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you want to completely shift your identity, and this happens at every level. I had an identity shift when I was making 10K a month from my online business to go to 30. I had an identity shift from 30 to 50. I had an identity shift from 50 to where I'm at right now, 95 to 105. Next month we'll probably do like 135, maybe 170. All I'm focused on is my habits and my standards. My habits and my standards. That's it. That's how I continue to quantum leap into a new, better, and leveled up version of John Mark. And every single solitary time that you get better, it takes more effort to mold you into the next version of you. More effort to mold you into the next version of you. More effort to mold you into the next version of you. And I want to do it with the gym, with my finances, with my relationships, with my mind, with my wisdom, with my intelligence, with my daily habits, with who I express as the being John Mark Stevenson. Every single thing that I do, I want it to reflect excellence. Will I ever achieve perfection? No. And that's why my Lord and Savior Christ Jesus died on the cross for my sins, because I will never be perfect. But if I achieve perfection, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't let anyone tell you, oh, that's an unnecessary standard. That standard's too high. That's what everyone told me when I told them I was going to get a Urus. Guess who has a Urus a year later? It's not ego. It's certainty. It's certainty. Same way you hear like Dan Pena be like, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. To a certain degree, yes. But show me your habits and your standards. I'll show you your future. That's what it takes. Don't overlook the small steps. Everyone else out here selling you a pipe dream.
Oh, Jack, he's got any in the food. He's very
all the other guys in my space, like,
bullshit.
they've got like 2 testimonials. Their business is like just like going down and down and down. They seem like they're going
like it's short, like it's like this live. Share this live to friends and family. Comment what's up. Subscribe to the channel. Put the notifications on so you don't miss a video. Also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Follow my YouTube channel. More daily content.
Guess what?
See you later. Y'all stay blessed.
I get referrals.
Right there.
My product is so good.